Good morning. You go through these old towns and you come across an old train station. Now, who doesn't like a nice old train station over my left shoulder here? And I'm in this morning currently the town of Toccoa, Georgia. And this is still an active train station by Amtrak. And over my shoulder here again is a big cargo train coming through town. Now, the train station is nice, and it was built in circa 1915 by the Southern Railroad. But what we're more interested in is the extension on the end of this particular train station, as it's the Currahee Military Museum, and that's what we're going to be looking at this morning. So as this massive train passes me on my side here, we'll see the extension to the train station, which is now the Currahee Military Museum. We're going to go inside and take a look and see what it has to show us. So the Currahee Military Museum is obviously best known for the movie The Band of Brothers, the HBO series, and the exploits of Easy Company, first of the 506th, and we'll see what kind of memorabilia it has inside. I'm the first person here this morning, and this first section is part of the museum that shows sort of more Native American history, some of the Civil War era artifacts. Pretty interesting stuff if you stop and read it all at this old train set. I think my dad would be interested in. And we have old furniture here, desk from 1898. A butter mold from 1920. Baby cradle from 1870. And it goes on and on. And this is some information that sort of a tribute to musicians who came from Toccoa. So if you're a fan of Band of Brothers from the HBO series, this is the highlight of the museum, of course. It shows some of their barracks, and this barn, if you will, was disassembled in Aldbourne, England, and brought here to show you how their housing was for a short time while they were in London training before the D-Day invasion. You can see some of the information on the wall here. So a bit of information, the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment was activated July 20th, 1942 at Camp Toombs, which was later Camp Toccoa, and attached to the 101st Airborne Division on June 1st, 1943, and assigned to the 101st Airborne on March 1st, 1945. Okay, so like we said, this was an old barn that was used for quarters, and they disassembled it in England and brought it back here and to show you what their barracks was like. So when they disassembled the building to transport, they found these items tucked away behind the boards. Some old clothes. It's like a rifle shell. A Clark bar wrapper. Kind of interesting. And here's the building, or the stable in England. And it shows the process of disassembling it and then shipping it to Toccoa. Looks like it got here in 2004. And this is pictures of them assembling here in the warehouse. And if you remember the series, this is a photograph of Muck, Toy, and Malarkey. Another photo of Talbot. And this information here, or this picture and information is Carl Wood Lipton, who passed away in 2001. And again, if you remember the series, this is a picture of Babe Heffron and Bill Garnier. This was November 2000. And here's another picture of Grant, Toy, and Malarkey. And here's a picture of Major Winters. So this is a wall of the awards from multiple people from the Parachute Infantry Regiment. I'll go through and see if I can find people that would be more well known. And I apologize if I'm not getting everybody, but this is Babe Heffron's awards. And this is Moose Heiliger. This is Eugene Doc Rowe awards and ribbons. This is Major Winters awards. Carl Wood Lipton. Now this is Skip Muck. And this is Alex Pincala. And you'll remember from the series they were tragically killed in the same foxhole in an artillery barrage from the Germans. This is Buck Compton's awards. This is Malarkey's awards. Percante's awards. And this is, believe it or not, then Lieutenant Colonel Sobel, his awards. If you're interested in whatever happened to Lieutenant Colonel Sobel, you have to do some research to find out his tragic story. It's Captain Nixon. This is Bill Garnier's awards. Yeah, it's very interesting to see the awards, and you know, if you look at several of these types of awards, you'll see the oak leaf or indicator on these. These means they've been wounded several times. He's Bronze Star with the second. This is Carl Wood Lipton's. So here's the Bronze Star with the oak leaf, indicating he's had 2, wounded several times. And you'll see Buck Compton with the Silver Star, Bronze Star, and Purple Heart. And you see again, here's his then Major Winters, and you'll see the Distinguished Service Cross here, Bronze Star, Purple Heart, ×2. Yeah, it's really interesting stuff. And what war museum wouldn't be complete without a display of weapons utilized during the war? A Again, more M1 carbines. A couple 45 caliber Thompson machine guns. Okay, so this is also interesting. This looks like a jump roster when they were about to jump into or jumped into Holland on Operation Market Garden. And you can see the list of names, and this is Captain Winters, Compton, Lieutenant Welsh, Garnier, Grant, Malarkey, Martin, Muck, Bull Randleman, wounded in action, Grant wounded in action. Okay, now this is how the barracks would have been set up when they were in England. An old stove for heating. And this is all obviously reconstructed, obviously, but all original. The bed frames and all things are remades or remakes. When they disassembled, they found things behind the walls, and what they found is this. Pretty interesting. It's a letter. I can't read it, unfortunately. I don't have enough light, or I can't see. I forgot my glasses. But it's addressed to Corporal Denver Randleman. Aldbourne Stables, England, 1944. Again, this is Bull Randleman's awards. Bronze Star ×2, Purple Heart ×2. Numerous others, of course. Interesting enough, everybody that trained here didn't necessarily go to Europe. Now this is the from 2nd Platoon Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment. And they ended up going to fight the Japanese. This is some of the things they brought back. And here's a Japanese rifle in its original box. Looks to be, I believe it's an Arisaka. Hard to see with the light the way it is. See if I can shed some light on this a little bit. I don't know if that helps at all, but and if you remember the commanding officer, this is Colonel Sink, but at this these awards are when he was Lieutenant General. And this is kind of interesting here. This is a wedding dress that was made out of parachute silk, brought back from the war. And this is a small tribute to Alex Pincala. Letters and photographs. Okay, now this is the road to the top of Currahee Mountain. So this is the road that Easy Company would run 3 miles up and 3 miles back. And just off to my right is Camp Toccoa. I'll go through the entrance. Up at the entrance, it's closed on the weekdays, but at least be able to see it. One thing that never shows up on camera is how steep the road is, and I can tell you now driving it that running this road would not be fun. Definitely a tough test. Okay, so now we're at the top of Currahee Mountain. It's a nice view. Bunch of vultures flying around. Wildfire off in the distance. Now, I follow a channel called History Underground, and he does a great job going around the world, frankly, and highlighting, you know, history, World War II history specifically, and other types. He does Civil War as well. But he brought a lot of awareness to Easy Company from his channel, and they came up here a couple of years ago because this is, you know, where Easy Company, the men of Easy Company and the Parachute Infantry Regiment came up here to train. And they'd run up here 3 miles up, 3 miles back. It's a brutal, brutal run. And this is what has come of this. Now, they came up here a couple of years ago and they scrubbed this down with some environmentally friendly product. I think it was called elephant snot. And this is what's come back. The locals in the area just can't help themselves by you know, painting all this rock. It's a shame. There's even a sign over there that says graffiti prohibited, of course, and it's painted over. But what do you do? It's just sad, I guess. Too bad nothing else can be done. But the top of this mountain is full of looks like cell towers and communication equipment. I'll see if I can get a better view of the mountain here in a second. So all this property off to the left here is Camp Toccoa. Again, like I said, it's not open on the weekdays, but this is the sort of the back part of it. We'll go around to the front gate here in a second. And this road now is called the Colonel Robert Sink Memorial Trail, from Colonel Sink, of course. And here's the front gate to Camp Toccoa. So they're open, just for your notification, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday and 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. And as always, thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing as it'll help our channel to grow.